Good morning, everybody. It is Friday morning. Good morning, Missy Jenn. Nice to see you.
Good morning, my little space monkey.
Space monkey. Who can't love that little space monkey, huh? Good morning, everybody. Hope you all are having a wonderful Friday as we get underway on a Friday coffee time. We ain't got no coffee because it's in the brew pot. Hello, Sean.
Hey,
First
Sean,
with the best.
First one. That's right.
Remember, Sean, we're all branch offices of the great UK. You know,
That's right.
prize? What's my prize? JKM, good morning to you. Yeah, we'll get to things. Offsides.
Hey,
Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Good morning.
Still first down. Yay.
Yes.
Original Al. Good morning, my sweetie comes.
Hello,
nice to see you.
Now.
Snickerdoodle.
Sean, your prizes, you will be part of the game.
Sean, your prize is.
And don't you
have to listen to another hour of my BS here.
The ramblings of.
Ramblings of Bry.
Bry, that's right.
Well, our coffee pot. Good morning, SKS. How are you? Nice to see you. Nice to see you this morning. Doing good. Hey, first of all, let's get it right off the bat. We just got back from doctors and we grabbed a little bit of very light breakfast this morning at our local place. Missy Jenn, good news for you today.
Sam's Supply.
Hey, Kathy. How you doing?
Hey, Kathy.
Yeah, we should be serving.
The coffee is still in the make, Kathy, and then we will.
I will serve it curbside.
We will serve coffee.
So tell them about your update today.
Curbside.
You went to the surgeon.
So we just we went to my surgeon's office first. Early this morning, he had a look-see at the incision here. He said it looks great, it's healing good. He's very happy. He also gave us the report from pathology. It is non-cancerous.
Benign. Yeah.
It's benign. That's the other good news. And he said that it was a lot bigger than what he had thought at first. And so he's happy, I'm happy, we're happy. And so it's still a little sore, but it's just going to take a little bit more time. But we are on the mend. Everything is going good, looking good. So we had a successful and quick visit at the surgeon office. We then went to one of our favorite breakfast places and had a quick breakfast. And then decided to come and have gameplay with y'all here and some coffee with y'all.
Offsides, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down. Anyway, I'm really thrilled that Missy Jenn had such a good report. And the best news,
hi, Epstein.
You still got the little squirrel. You still got the squirrel here, right?
And we still got the squirrel here. I sometimes like to call him my space monkey.
Space monkey, that's me. Good morning, Tom Finland.
When she has her.
Yeah, Tom Finland. Good morning. Here for an hour of bullshit. Thank goodness for good news. How you doing, Tom?
Tom Finland in the house.
Nice to see you. The great Tom Finland. The gentleman of gentlemen.
Hi, John.
Moderators. So yeah,
and Sis Judy too. Nice to see you.
Judy Push Paco.
Hello,
nice to see you. Yeah, so we're in very good spirits today. It's a very good Friday. I want to talk a little bit now that we got that good news, and Missy Jenn will continue trying to keep her from overdoing is the major thing. We got another very lousy. Yeah, I changed.
We actually do have another good news. We had company yesterday. Remember?
Oh yeah, we had all the dogs came.
We had Domino here. We had Milli Vanilli here, and we had Penny here.
Good morning, Cobra John. Yeah, I'm bringing the 50s back.
So now Back to you.
Yeah, we had Penny, we had Domino, we had Millie Vanilli here with George, four enormous dogs. And little
next time they are here, we'll do some video for all of the channels.
Exactly.
So you get to all meet then the new member of the family, Penny. She's a Rottweiler female, and she's already
huge.
Twice the size from when I last saw her. She is huge, but she is a sweetie.
Sweet dog. Yeah,
she's a real sweet dog.
I hope that she maintains. I really hope that she maintains that. Good morning, Vanessa. How are you doing, sweetie? I hope you recovered from your phone blowout there. What's the difference between the Boyd and the drama community? Not much, I'd say these days.
I think it's pretty much blended into one.
But Boyd is certainly a fascinating place, isn't it? It's always like a big jigsaw puzzle with people trying to fit different pieces on different things and force. Remember when you were a kid, you couldn't find that one piece, you try to force that one on and kind of make it fit on there. It's pretty funny when you think about it. Yeah, let's get down to it. Offsides offense, 5-yard penalty. You know, sometimes as I've gone in my directions here on the channel and decided to do my own thing and exercise my right as an individual channel holder to put up the content that I want to have on my channel, have the people I want to have on my panel the people I want to have on my panel. Encourage people to go to the places that you want to go. If you don't like the topic of the day, you have so many choices of other chats to go to.
The knitting community.
I mean, whatever you want to do, you can find it out there.
Anything.
Even within Boyd, there's so many different hangouts. But when you continuously find yourself, even after saying, go where you like to go, do what you want to do, there's people that still, insist on talking about analyzing and looking at your hangouts and criticizing them. And last night was a perfect, hello, Harvey. Last night was a perfect case in point of people rushing in when I just started my hangout, rushing in before even knowing the content of my hangout or what I was going to talk about last night. Man the guns and just started to go at it. Regardless of what my topic was, regardless of telling the story about the death of the great Frank Robinson, one of the greatest sluggers of all time of Major League Baseball, passed away yesterday, and a Baltimore Oriole that I idolized and enjoyed watching playing for many years, despite people not even knowing the content of what I planned to talk about. The great rush came in. Oh my God. Rosie's doing a fundraiser for, she's humping she's cocking for the Assyrian liberation and the Assyrian independence army. And I just had to sit back as this unfolded because I'm always one to keep my cool. I got my agenda. I did tons of research and stuff yesterday in preparation for my hangout. And I had cause to just shake my head at the events last night because somebody on another panel on his own hangout makes a comment that Rosie's going to be doing something on her channel, raising money for Assyrian liberation fighters. And I'm just shaking my head. That's exactly right, Missy Jenn.
The YPG?
Shaking my head. And I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? But I'm not one to concern myself with what really goes on with other people's hangouts, because like I say, your hangout, you can talk about whatever you want to, whatever you want to talk. Good morning, Cupcake. You can talk about whatever you want. Me, Elvis, Bergs, whomever you want in the community, that's fine. But last night, I came in with my own packaged topic to talk about. And not once in the course of that hangout Did we ever talk about asking anybody in this community to ever donate a dime to anything? In fact, no less than probably 5 or 6 times within that hangout last night, we were complimentary of the efforts that's going on with St. Jude's. I was advising people to donate locally. Put your money to work on a local level. Do things here in the United States. We have so much more need. Say hi to Ling Ling Cupcake. We have so much more need here. Oh, that's cool. Glad to hear that. Love you, Cupcake. You got that new smartphone. It's going to take you time. We have so much need here. We don't need to fund any Assyrian liberation or defense force over there. And the real idea of last night was to examine Assyria, the roots of what's modern day Iraq, and also to come to the realization, as 180 plus people did on the Hangout, that the chances of Assyria rising again are about 0. Okay, and as such, it seems rather futile to even broach the topic of doing something like fundraising or something like that. But we had offsides, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down. Without even hearing my own hangout last night and my beautifully prepared agenda, which was a sweeping view of history, a sweeping view of the rise of Iraq out of the core of what was at one time Mesopotamian Babylonia, and then the big power vacuum that came to be filled when Saddam Hussein left power, got deposed, and tracked down, and the terror that's ensued ever since, Missy Jenn, with Islamic extremists, having Assyrians, which are mostly Christians, a very rare small group minority within Iraq, coming out of the original Fertile Crescent between the Tigris and Euphrates River, a very small 1% of the population people. And as the Jews were, they ended up being spread all over the Middle East, the United States, and other foreign countries in a big diaspora, scattered because there's no more homeland for Assyria. To me, it was a very, very, very amazing story to me. And it was one that the 170, 180 people on last night were rewarded with something positive, with something educational, and something that a lot of those people had never heard before. To wit, most Assyrians are Christian, Chaldean Catholic Church, the Eastern Orthodox Church. And by the time that hangout was over, most of the people that were there had agreed it was a very worthwhile thing. And we had people there that came in initially hating on that hangout and ended up at the end fully engaged in the discussion and glad to take part in something that was a little more than the usual back and forth here on YouTube. Exactly right, Sean. The biggest mistake was taking Saddam out in the sense of the control that he had over there. Okay, we won't talk about the supposed weapons of mass destruction in that knuckleheaded event. But yes, he was also a great protector of the Assyrian, what was left of the Assyrian culture. He protected that. So when people talk about Alyssa Hart, this is my channel, I'll do what I want to do on it. So when people talk about Assyria and how they have any kind of like for Saddam Hussein at all, now I have a little of an idea of why that I never knew before. Once he got kicked out, Katie, it was bar the door. and we've had progressive waves of slaughter, and you might even call it just a rolling Holocaust across Iraq and much of the Middle East.
Yeah.
That has marginalized and destroyed much of anything that was left of the lineage of Assyria, which was really considered the birthplace of civilization. So thank you, Happy Meal. So, you know, it was an amazing thing. There was a lot of research that was involved in that last night. We covered a lot of history from 4000 BC all the way up to the present time. That, to me, is the way that a hangout should be. Now, my hangout, I can have the people on I want. Now, Missy Jenn, we talked about this at breakfast today. It's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you have somebody who's an outlier on your panel and they come on and they behave themselves, himself or herself, as Elvis has done the last 2 times, you would think that people would be satisfied that, hey, he engaged in discussion, he was giving back and forth, he was adding to the conversation last night, giving information about, yes, there are the Assyrian News Agency and other things that I didn't know about. You know, in other words, positively adding without chimping out, without calling names, without going ballistic. You know, you would think that this is the kind of behavior that we would encourage here on YouTube, right? But instead, we continue to bang the same drum on the same people about the same thing over and over. We want people to engage in better behavior, but yet when people come onto a panel and it's a very calm, it's a very rational discussion, we want to marginalize that and continue to attack. My platform, I will continue to have the people I on, and I only have one simple rule. If you come on to my panel, if you behave yourself, if you're not being a dick, if you're not yelling like the Bergs does, you're welcome to come on and have a good time. You know, I take every chat as a self-contained unit. I've always stood for that. I'll always continue to stand for that. Now, I don't have to be bound by other people's perceptions of what somebody is, and I refuse to be. The same reason I decided to meet Dave and Becca. Easy decision? No, it was a very difficult decision for me to make. And yet, the payoff for me, looking at a distance the last 30 days, is how much better and how much, you know, how much smoother and how much less friction there is surrounding Dave and Becca. And there was a lot on my chat last night to the fact that I had to ask one of my moderators, lighten up, take it easy. I consider that a real challenging people to be better on YouTube. Challenging people to be better. You'll notice over the last week and a half and 2 weeks on my chats, we haven't had any of the crazy chimping out. We haven't had anybody going nuts. Bergs was on for 5 minutes on Wednesday night. He got the royal boot. Why? Because if you can't behave on my panel, out you go. Very, very simple rules. Here, I want to engage people. I want to talk about things of substance. And since we talked about the night before about Assyria and whether there was even an Assyrian culture left to even discuss or to even think about, much less try to bring back, and Marshall gave me quotations from Isaiah chapter 25, chapter 13, verses 23 through 25, some biblical thing that says Assyria will rise again. I was fascinated by the whole topic because, quite frankly, I hadn't studied ancient societies since probably college. And to me, I never knew a lot of the things about the Assyrians and the fact that far from being Muslims, they're Christians and people that we should feel are fellow travelers and exhibiting a lot of bravery. Being in the middle of a sea of Islam here's a small group of, what would I say, Jen, heroic people that continue to practice, continue to live with the terrible risks of what it is to be a Christian in the middle of a Muslim sea over there. And I found it fascinating. Now, as far as what other people's takeaway is, blah, 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 if people had stopped, considered, listened to the Hangout and seen and watched the whole Hangout, they would have realized there was no fundraising going on there last night. There was no attempt to ask anybody to do any donations to any. I wouldn't even know where in the hell to send the money to anyway. And that's what I proved to Elvis. There ain't no group. There is a relief organization, I guess, that, offers, I guess they have a protective zone or something there that arms people. But, as far as being on my panel and discussing things like that, that's the thing I love to do. And that's the direction that I'm going to continue to pull in. And I reserve the right on my channel to have the people. And now people also said, oh, well, Greg's not around and this and that. Do you know that Greg and I sat on a one-on-one private hangout for about a half hour last night? One-on-one. But yet these people, if you listen to them, they'll attempt to tell you how marginalized they are. You don't look at your view counts, but they'll tell you, oh, Rosie only gained like 100 subs, blah, blah, blah. You lay in bed, you're listening to stuff, you're absolutely astounded that people study your channel more than you ever even think about your own. It's always been a stunning thing to me. Instead of doing the things that you want to do, you run around towing the company line, running from one side of the boat to the other and back and forth and back and forth. I make myself happy on here. I do what I want on YouTube because YouTube is a platform of association. And if you don't like what you see, then click off and unsub. But also realize this: every day more people come aboard. Every day we bring new people in that like the idea of having the values of free speech, the values of having controversial people on. And the other thing to realize is, in listening to people, well, we tried so hard to get Nomadic Fanatic off of YouTube and we failed and we can't get people off. YouTube decides who stays on YouTube. Okay? As long as you respect the rules, thank you very much, Henry. As long as you respect the rules of YouTube, then you're allowed to be on YouTube, no matter how controversial you may be, because YouTube at the end of it will look at you and say, you don't have to watch it, right? I never watched, these people like, that Missy Jenn would enjoy watching in the old days. And, we have different people that we watch, or I would say that's BS. Click it off, unsub. But no, people want to stay engaged. Now they talk about things that are intermeshed into, well, you can't go on a Hangout without people talking about it. Challenge yourself on your Hangouts not to talk about it.
Hello, Oda May.
Hey, Oda May, how are you? If it's that terrible, if it's that god-awful, don't talk about it. It's so simple, the reality of that. But you'll find when Hangouts go on and it gets an hour or two into the Hangout, then it becomes, well, let's talk about Elvis, let's talk about Rosie, blah, blah, blah. And then we're off to the races. Okay? In other words, I do a program with real content and real fun as opposed to sitting around and talking about other people. And I'm going to tell you this, I gave probably as much to St. Jude's as anybody on the board over the last 2 months. A cause that I support, a cause that I will continue to support, along with other respected charities. But as far as running my channel the way I want, I will continue to do so. And if that means that I'm marginalized in certain places, that's fine. So be it. But in terms of being in abeyance to the rules and conditions of YouTube, that's a totally different story. You know, I'm allowed to have the people on panel that I want. And you know what? I've gotten tons of compliments from people that say, wow, we like a place that we can have wide open again without the wrench police coming in and bopping people on the head. You know, I mean, it's refreshing. You know, so don't get in. Be careful if you're in the echo chamber. You know, where it's all yes men telling everybody what they want to hear. Okay, there's a whole gigantic, enormous group of other people out there that like places that free speech can be expressed. They like to see controversial people come onto a panel and behave themselves. And the takeaway from that is, man, I can't believe Bergs, when he's sober, is actually pretty cool on panel. Or, geez, Marshall was able to carry on an intelligent discussion. Hi, Kat. An intelligent discussion about Assyria. And I'm looking at my mail today, and they're like, you know, I don't like they call it a baboon, but, you know, I couldn't believe the baboon was capable of being so thoughtful last night. Yeah, when you give people a chance and you don't automatically kick them in the head, you'd be surprised some of the results that you can get. Okay? In other words, you've tried to force people off with all of the campaigns of parody, you know, all the other things that are done, and it hasn't succeeded. Therefore, I have a right to try to engage people, have people pulled in a positive direction, to engage in constructive chat, sometimes fun chat, without having to tear people down. So maybe they get their pump primed a little bit, and maybe they move forward and say, yeah, I like being on Rosie's panel. Yeah, I have to learn how to get along well with others now. You know, it's a very important life lesson for people. And for that, I'm very proud. I'm going to get you a cup of coffee. Yeah, I know, Henry. We like that there's not 10 people talking. It's beautiful.
I haven't seen the Hangout or nothing, but I do know that Rosie talked about pulling this up and printing it out, and it's about the history of the Assyrian culture. So I knew she was
Yeah, I did a shitload of research.
She was doing research on the Assyrian culture, and it's had nothing to do with funding any military or having any kind of fundraising or anything. It was just going to be a hangout talking about the Assyrian history. So I don't know what happened to where people got things confused, but people always seem to see things that they want to see, or they imagine things. They see things that they imagine, or they create their own things, and then they see them. So it's pretty sad. But this material here, I pulled it up on the computer and I printed it out. And this is about Assyrian history, and this is the material that Rosie utilized on the Hangout.
Yeah, there's 9 pages of stuff.
9 pages about the Assyrian history and about them being Christians. And that
yeah, we know that, BMAC. BMAC, you don't have to always be negative.
And
at least I brought something positive last night. It was
a positive thing.
Instead of tearing people down.
And I personally just want to give my 2 cents in regards to the fact that what I admire about the Rosie girl is that she had tried last night to have a hangout and talk about a topic, a historical topic, instead of having a hangout where people will talk about other people and bash other people once again.
Well, just anybody that's got an ounce of sense in their head knows that there's no way that I'm going to, despite what anybody says.
Going to Elvis, it was going to be a hangout.
Despite what Elvis says, there's no way. Anybody with an ounce of sense in their mind knows that the last thing I would do on planet Earth is ever do an organized fundraiser for some. If you can find them, if you can find them, some Assyrian freedom fighter.
And wasn't going to
but be that we get offsides, offense, 5-yard penalties, still first down. People jump off sides before you've even moved the ball.
So
that's the thing
I'm
that
proud of Rosie
me.
for
again. Yes, CJ. I watched the stream until the last half hour when Marshall claimed that I was going to be raising money for Assyrian liberation or whatever. But anybody that decided to come over and watch my hangout knew within the first 10 minutes after going through my tribute to the great Frank Robinson, one of the greatest Major League Baseball players of all time, and the first black manager in baseball, that I had no intention of raising money. But, you know, it was off to the races. You know, people don't wait to hear the whole thing. They just run off and they react to things. Instead of coming in, now I have to give it to Tilly May. Tilly May came in and said, Rosie, I'm madder than hell. You're raising money for Syria and Assyria freedom fighters and all this. I said, Tilly May, I ain't raising any money for anything in Assyria, anything in Iraq. We're going to talk about some history tonight. We're going to learn some things. Tilly May's like, okay, cool. By the end of it, she had a good time engaging in the conversation and realizing what was going on in the hangout last night. She did not get penalized with an offsides penalty. She came in and did it. Hey, LaPoof, how are you? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Helen. It was obvious it wasn't a fundraiser. But they jumped the gun. You know. And here's another nameless. Here's another nameless troll hiding behind. Here's one shitting cat. Another person nobody ever sees. Nothing positive about putting your good buddy Marshall on your path. Nothing positive to you. You are butthurt. Last person I am is butthurt. I'm happy as hell these days. Okay, then my friends are still there. I know it's going to pain you to understand that I was on a private with Greg for about a half hour last night while Greg and I talked things through. He's got things coming up he wanted me to be aware of. That's what friends do. Okay.
It's nice
don't buy the company line that people don't talk to. That don't talk to Rosie. I'd like to see Mr. Z.
It's nice to see Henry Hobson on here.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice to see. It is
made
nice
a really good point.
Yeah,
made a really good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Helen. If you try to get people on panel, and you do things in a positive manner, they still talk about it. They still want to marginalize. So the only thing I can conclude is it's more fun to see somebody chimp out and go crazy and repeat that cycle of, you know, goading people to chimp out.
It's like
I don't have chimp out on my panel. I don't do chimp out on there. People come on, you can't behave yourself. 5 minutes, you're out the friggin' door. And I have to say to good deal on a rocket launcher. Yeah, that's right. Susan was in here last night. And congratulations to Susan. Well, Henry Hobson, I had a lot of ground to cover last night. I appreciate that. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Yeah, I'm not going to be, you know, thank God, somebody like Freebird, he's been around forever.
Hello, Michelle. Nice to see you.
OG Boyd here was able to understand and to see what was occurring last night and enjoy and contribute mightily to a very positive conversation that the 180 people that were tuned in were able to derive some educational benefit out of what was presented last night. In other words, moving a community along that we don't always have to be mired in the crap of what individual people are doing on their own channels. I care about things that were going on my channel. Well, Happy Meal, I thought that you were smarter than that too. But I've been continuously disappointed. Okay.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's been very good. Who cares, back at 4 rolls? What you think? You continue hiding behind your goofy little avatar. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, and that's good. Yeah. He spent a drunken year spirit assault, but you want to live in the past, so I will continue to allow you to do that. You never want to move the dialogue forward, so I allow you to pour cement around your feet, stay in place, and continue to engage and do the things that you want to do. Because in 2019, it's been a whole new ball game. Yeah, there's no Dollar Tree in Iraq. I know. And I don't know if Dave is here. Yeah, I did tell Coat. Coat seemed to be at war with Dave a little bit. And I did ask Coat to lighten up. And he certainly did. He certainly did. And I appreciated that very much. There's a reason people come to the Hangout. They enjoy the content. People could have clicked off at any time and not watched it. But again, we had many, many people engaged, many people arguing, many people fighting about the content, fighting about the history.
Hi, Jen Jen.
That's what I really love. Hey, Jen Jen, how are you, sweetie? That's what I really, really love. When people engage and they don't worry about the other nonsense that's they come in, they leave that crap at the door, and they have the Hangout, and I really love that. And it's been very fruitful for me to have that, and I really appreciated that. Thank you very much, Susan. Free Birdie said, I'm proud of her for not caving to mob demands. Exactly. When you start caving to mob demands, you know, you're nowhere on. You don't even control your own destiny. Where you know very well on YouTube that people can go wherever they want. They can move on. They don't have to watch it. But the thing is, they want to watch it. And that's the difference. Okay? And the good thing for people who watched last night, they got a very good educational overview of how we got to where we are today. And also, what the hell happened to Assyria? And will Assyria ever rise again? And what was their conclusion? Very doubtful. Very doubtful. That's what I say. If you don't like the content, go watch it elsewhere.
Yeah, Syria will never rise again. It will take a miracle.
And I appreciate you, Spirit of Salt. You've said some very down the line. You know, you've been very straight up honest about a lot of stuff. And I appreciate that. But I'm saying that's the ultimate thing. If you don't want to watch, if it insults your intelligence, if it insults your integrity, you don't have to watch it. But I'm not having panel shit shows anymore. Okay? Let other people fight it out and scream and holler and do the evaluating and the post-game show. I'm moving forward, doing the fun things that I like to. That's right. It's not your channel anymore if you cave. That's exactly right. Hey, Chiming, how are you, sweetie?
Yeah.
I'll be styling and profiling in Baghdad. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that, Jordan Blue? Jesus. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen at the round table.
No more panel
no more panel shit shows.
Right.
I don't put up with them anymore. When somebody's comes on in chimps, it's out the door. I'm not putting up with it. I don't care whether it's Bergs. I don't care whether it's Marshall. I don't care who in the hell it is. Then you go fire up your own Hangout.
Hi, Simon.
You can be as goofy as you want to be.
To you.
Goofy as you want to be. So, yeah. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, your channel, your rules. That's right, Spirit Wolf. And a lot of people in this community, they're tired of having their intelligence insulted too. They're tired of these so-called gatekeepers telling them who they should watch, who they shouldn't watch, selectively dragging up history from years ago and trying to put that in to influence present, as if people never change for the better. you know, or the worst. But people, let me replug this thing. People have more intelligence than that down here. Testing, testing. There we go. We got audio back now. Okay. Sorry about that. Like I was saying, it's one of the things that I never. Can you hear me okay? Check your feed. Okay. That's it. Check, check, check. Okay, your audio is back. What I was saying is I don't run my Hangouts by numbers. I never run my channel by numbers, thumbs up and thumbs down. Like I was saying, to me, the thumbs up are nice, but the thumbs down, they never move me. Reason being is we all know how easy it is to doctor up and create the little echo chamber so that people can look over and say, oh, look at how many thumbs down came over there. Well, we have a higher order of intelligence here. I like to think the people that come on here are of a higher order of intelligence that look at things and say, I'm not going to be dissuaded by what somebody else is saying. I'll come in and listen myself and make my judgment about whether I should be here. And I'm so very happy that people come back and back and back. Georgie is back there sleeping. He's having a good time today. Yeah, panels were getting boring. You know, it's like if you can't talk about us, then there's really nothing to talk about. You know. Yeah. And the thing that we also found out that, what is it, Syraxes the Great, I guess he was a great Assyrian, is that people were shocked to realize that the overwhelming majority of Assyrians are Christians. It is a rainy day, Captain Camus. Good morning, good afternoon to you. Yeah, we're starting to rain outside.
Yeah, it's 46 degrees out. It's cold and rainy.
Cupcakes mostly here for.
Yeah,
it's all active
for
interest.
You too. Jodi says hi, y'all.
The king said he got to hook Rosie a big plate of goat biryani in Baghdad. How about mutton biryani, huh? Too funny. Too funny. Yeah, her doctor, just to recap, you want to tell people about your doctor?
Yeah, hi, Simon. Nice to see you. Simon is a really nice guy. And the doctor appointment went well. He looked at the surgery site. He's happy with the healing process so far. And got the report from pathology back, and it's benign, so no cancer. So thumbs up, and yep, I just gotta continue the healing process, and it was a full success. So thank you, everybody, for all of your
yeah, we're baking. I'm going to be baking
once again. Thank you.
There we go. Thank you, Missy Jenn. Great news. I'm going to be baking tonight. I want to make a very traditional pound cake. Okay, something that I think is one of the staples of baking, because a pound cake you can do so many things. This is going to be a straight butter pound cake, and I think it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, I'm very happy for Jen. That's what I'm saying, Free Birdie. Face it, people like Zia or not like him, like Zia or not, like me or not. It's the topic of conversation. That's correct. When in effect, all anybody has to do is take the button, close out, not watch it, and be done with it, and go watch Mary Poppins and whatever you want to do, underwater basket weaving in Romania, or whatever your pleasure or your joy is to do that. That's your safe button. That's your safe button. Yeah, that's exactly right. Helen said, Odame, it doesn't matter, as we all know who we are. What people think does not really affect us. And I'm proud of the way that on this channel, people can be of a higher order of evolution not in terms of intelligence, but in terms of understanding that, this is the void. And what do you expect on YouTube? And if you want the Ladies Garden Club of Waverly Hill, you can find that if you want. If you want to have a panel up where you might have some controversial people on, people will want to watch it. It's just a fact of life. It ain't like I'm new to this rodeo. You can't say, ooh, Rosie just jumped on in the last 2 months. I've been aboard this shit wagon since 2015, and that's the reality of it. Yeah, you can bake alone. Gonna make a Rocky pound cake. Good luck on any hangout where.
Well, 2019 has been.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's obviously given content that people enjoy watching, because I never thought 180 people would be tuned in to watch the history of Assyria, to learn about the history of Assyria. And the thing I'm really proud about last night is nobody chimped out. Nobody yelled. Nobody had to curse. Nobody had to do anything. I think that the side chat sometimes gets a little unruly. Like I said, Dave the Fisherman. Yeah, that's right. Helen said it took me a while to settle in, but I don't take things personally. Exactly. It's YouTube. It's YouTube. No, it's fine, Helen. I'm just trying to understand. What your point is. What I'm saying is, Odame, that the people are equipped to kind of understand grandstanding, nonsense, and things like that. We don't need shepherds and guides to tell us that most of the time Elvis is a 24-karat idiot. We don't need
Baron.
Hey,
Nice
Beryl.
to see you.
We don't need people to tell us most of the time that Elvis is a 24-karat idiot. We've lived through it. I've lived through it for 4 years. Okay. But when you want to run your own content, you want to have your own show, you want to discuss your own things, you have a right to do that on YouTube. And like I said, offsides, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down. If you choose to jump the gun and think what I'm going to do on my Hangout, then it's on you. It's not on me. Because I come on and do my well-ordered show. I don't care what somebody else said on their Hangout. Rosie's going to do this or Rosie's going to do that. Man, that's a steel door between me, between Studio A and Studio Z. That's a freaking steel door on there. Yeah, the boy PC police need to get a life.
Amen.
I hope so.
Birdie. Amen.
I hope so. It's unbelievable.
Amen.
Even when you donate, you support good causes, and you're right in there in the thick of it, promoting it. Yeah, I don't understand American football. Basket weaving in bikini. What about that, Henry Hobson? That's pretty funny. We're of a higher order of intelligence as human beings here. We've seen enough. There's very few new people in this community. Very few people that come into this community that don't get the lay of the land and don't understand what's going on in this community. I mean, we don't need remedial instruction at every bend of the way. And we don't need people jumping on somebody else's stuff because they choose to talk about a topic of interest to them. That's where our freedoms come in here on YouTube. And thank God, Missy Jenn, that we do have the freedom to have this platform to do the things that we want to do. There are other people you could have on besides Elvis who are interested and respectful. Not that it's my opinion being promoted. Well, you may see him being promoted, but I put him on equal footing with everybody else. I've had Vegas Fiction on. I've had Jill on. I've had Greg on. I'll have all different people on my panel. But if I'm talking about Assyria and Iraq, then this is definitely somebody that I want to have on to get feedback about that, particularly as it affects current events. Now, other nights he's welcome to come on when it's a wide open discussion, as we've had some great hangouts on here that haven't resulted in screaming, haven't resulted in chimping out. You know, been some legendary ones that people have come back and said, man, that's the way that hangouts used to be. That's the fun it used to be before we got all bogged down on everything else. So, yeah, I do know him. I'm not quite sure what I would ask him, Henry. I'm not sure what I would ask him, to tell you the truth. We've communicated before. I've sat on chats with him way back when Rory had his panel chats on there, and Nomadic Fanatic was one of the ones that would sit on that panel. I never had a big problem with him, but that whole thing about e-bagging and solar panels, and I just saw everybody go to war about that. That was the first thing that really left an impression with me, Jen, was that whole Jimmy Rance, you know, going to war against e-bagging. Yeah, he has an interesting past. And that was my first introduction to like e-bagging here on YouTube. And I was astounded that there was such a pitched battle fought about that. And I think it was, he took the money and bought like a Harbor Freight solar panel, and he was given money to buy like enough to buy a, you know, a really big good system. And
hey, Jodi.
Jodi,
nice to see you.
How are you, Jodi? Nice to see you.
Jodi.
Yeah, Nomadic Fanatic led me to Boyd, and he didn't lead me to Boyd, Free Birdie, but you know, I found Rory through the RB Hangouts. But I was astounded at the pitched battle that was fought down here over that, and then at the outcome of that, to see that he's a guy that has almost 200,000 subs today. And it's like what was the point of it? You know, what was the outcome? And that stuck with me, Jen. Took a guy that was relatively small and unknown and just blew him up with all the attention into a mega star. How you doing, Nathan? Nice to see you.
Hi, Nathan.
That really stuck with me.
Nice to see you.
And my thought was, well, what do you expect on YouTube? As long as you obey the YouTube rules and conditions, then you don't have any problem on staying on YouTube, and that's the bottom line. So I thought, well, no wonder they could never push this guy out. You know, just like Elvis will be around until such time as Elvis wants to go. Smart people recognize that. Smart people recognize. Sissy said, Rosie, I admire how you handle your streams. You have the talent of seeing more than one point of view and never afraid to see other views. Thank you, Sissy. That's exactly what I do. I try to see all sides of things. I also think that people are not beyond caring or beyond compassion or beyond being treated with dignity. And we've seen a lot of people come back that have, well, to a great extent, modified their behavior here on Boyd. And I think it's really been a wonderful thing to see. So I'll continue to encourage that, continue to have those people around, continue to ask them, challenge your friends to be better. I'll continue to challenge them. I'll continue to challenge Bergs. Stay off of the high gravity stuff. Because when you're not wolfed up on that stuff, you're a great person to have on panel. You're a lot of fun, and people agree with it. Nomadic movement. Oh, I don't know, Tom Finland. I never even, Tom Finland, I never even look at that. It's not any kind of concern about anything of mine on that. What you'll have is, 5 or 6 people that have 10 or 20 troll accounts here. They just go down the line with the browser open and they just click, 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 click. And, who in the hell cares? Like I famously said, beginning January 3rd, 2013, they gave you a choice. Do you want your ratings to show on your videos? And I said, yes. And I never changed that. Never changed that ever since. Not a snowflake. Yeah, check them out. Thank you for the tip. Thank you for the tip. And Vanessa, how are you liking your new phone? That's it, Harvey. Davis said they're done nothing bad. That's exactly the way I came to it. Who do we got there? Hi, Cheryl. How are you? Helen says, I always felt I had to defend my friends when people are going on about them. I know I don't now, but I still get a bit growly when people are nasty. Yeah, I hear you. Oh, thank you, Jodi. I appreciate that. I'm trying to move. I'm getting back to doing some content. I did, I was requested if you're going to use your phone to do videos, some tips for that. So there's some positive, continue to do that positive content that'll get good traction and people will enjoy that. So yeah, pretty proud these days. Mighty proud in 2019. I feel like in terms of personal growth that I turned a real corner in terms of being, standing up for what I believe is right in the community. And I very happy about that. Now, don't use curse words in here, okay? If you can't elevate your conversation to a higher level than just, being in with that kind of talk, then I don't know what to tell you. What I'm saying is your hands down. Yeah, I'm Tom. I mean, anybody that's ever moved by that stuff, it doesn't deserve to be on YouTube. If they live and die by that measure, then they really are a snowflake. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to see that, Free Birdie. Because we got rain today coming back for the whole weekend. I had a big plan for going down on well, I'm not going to disclose it because I might do it next weekend. But as far as the eye can see, it's rain every day. Huh?
Yeah, well, it'll be the next 3 days.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I'm just saying.
3 days.
Yeah, the next 3 days. Rain, 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 rain. Cornell, you're always welcome here. Just you don't always have to defer to cursing and calling names. Oh, okay. Smooth, how you doing?
Hey, Smooth.
I think David's outside my house right now videotaping me. How you doing, Smooth? I hope you're feeling good, my friend. Nathan said, send me the rain. I hate the snow. The rain has put a real cramp in our works. I'm telling you, Free Birdie, I'm going out of my mind with the weather here. I'm just going out of my nut with this weather here. Just going crazy. Just day after day after day after day. Once in a while they throw you a bone, you get one sunny day, and then boom, it's right back down into lockup again. Yeah, so Henry said, Rosie, have you thought about going over to Paradise and show us the destruction? Okay, Colonel, you're always welcome here. Henry, I had a little bit of PTSD.
It's raining up there and snowing up there.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I had quite a bit of PTSD with the fires here, and it affected me profoundly in 2018. We'll just leave it at that. I can't endure going back into hundreds and thousands of acres of destruction again. And it was just too overwhelming. I just don't want to be in a zone like that again. Looking at the shockingly shitty construction and all the memorabilia that was left there and all the lives that were. I did talk about it once, Henry. I did talk about PTSD once I guess it was last January or so. You know, I did the video, The Great Santa Rosa Fire, that was nominated to the London International Film Festival. It was a short documentary. I'm very proud of that. It didn't win. But just to be included in that festival was a great thing. Jodi says, is there rebuilding going on? To some extent. In the places that were burned, that there's a good chance that'll never happen again, there's rebuilding. But anybody that lived up in the hills, the very expensive communities up there, it's you know, number one, who's going to insure them? Number two, it'll take probably 2 generations till people clear their minds of that horror of that night of October 8th and 9th of 2017. They will never want to be living on hills again with fires that are moving the length of a football field every 10 seconds. So, you know, fleeing for their lives. Yeah, it's just too painful for me to go back and to do that again. I just did a series of 10, and it was, you know, Jen and I were one of the first ones in post-fire. We were there before the National Guard showed up. That next day, that morning of getting video. Yeah. And I was profoundly affected by that experience of covering that. I covered everything from the airport to Cal Fire to the relief efforts by the Teamsters Union collecting food. Yeah, trauma stays forever. Let's see, Kim says, I lived in Boston during the marathon. I knew my son was there watching the marathon. I watched it live and it was horrified. I went crazy until I got a hold of his son. Yeah, it messes with your head. It is an absolutely terrible thing to have that mess with your head. Thank you, Cobra John. So unfortunately for this city, most of the tax base has been destroyed at a real wealth belt of this city to the tune of a 70.
Have a good day, Freebirdy.
Take care, Freebirdy. Yeah, thank you, RV Radio. Yes.
Hey, RV Radio.
Yeah, it was horrific. Snickerdoodle, I hear. Very scary stuff, Helen. When it doesn't rain from mid-April until December, you can imagine how dry. That's right. Uber Goober Lady says free speech is free speech, but so are the consequences of that free speech. Absolutely, positively well said.
Big hugs to you, Uber. Nice to see you.
I think, Uber Goober Lady, we have a saying in physics, for every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. I think that you can apply that to speech. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I think you have to follow your conscience on here. You have to follow your heart. You have to be a person, I think, that really cares about people. Deep down in there, deep down inside, and try to see the person underneath of that. Hey, happy anniversary, Henry, you and Rob. Woo! Hey, Tasha.
Henry,
yeah,
and
major
Rob.
thumbs down. There you do it.
That is awesome.
Colonel, you're able to speak here. I'm just asking you, please don't use the C word and all that. You'll automatically be held for review. I have a extensive block list of things. I want to have a channel where people aren't F-bombing. Good morning, JK NoCal.
Hey, JK.
Yeah, Helen said we have wildfires here at the moment. Evacuations, homes gone. It's still gone in Nelson. I'm sorry, honey. Between earthquakes and everything else. Yeah. Congratulations. Okay, Nathan, take care.
Have a great day. Much love to you. Love you, Nathan.
Nathan, the hardest working
Nathan
guy in
is
Canada
awesome.
right there.
Yeah,
Awesome friend.
And he always stops by to say hello. It's awesome.
We have a saying in physics, like you would know. Yeah, I studied physics in high school and I studied it in college. Tom Finland says, you ought to see what happened to some of my bullies 6 feet under trying to crawl out. Tom, you sound like a tough guy. You're scaring me now.
I like that.
Woo! Woo! Boy, that is ding, 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 ding. Well, Harvey's still getting used to the, remember Harvey's here to work in our best interest here.
He's doing great.
And he knows how I feel about cursing and all of that. I'm not into that stuff. I like to sort of lift stuff to a higher order here and be positive. So, I just have to let them do what they want. I do try to. Well, you got to know, Kerno, that Harvey has no history with Dave. All that Harvey has is positive interaction with Dave, whereas I came from the worst possible place. The most marginalized person with Dave, without a doubt. Right? The Alamo, remember all that stuff? The worst person on the outs with Dave. The most arch enemy of Dave in January and February of 2018. And look at the distance that we covered with respect and with meeting somebody face to face. And as another person famously said, challenge your friends to do better. And that's exactly what I did. Challenge your friends to do better. Yeah, that's it, Jodi. Not the Alamo. Dory Lynn. There's my girl. There's my girl. Yeah. Jodi. Yeah, we're not going to have an Alamo anymore. But you understand the great distance that was traversed here. If that could happen, anything's possible down here. And on my chats, I'm going to have positive interactions here. I'm not going to have the negativism. You can't stop other people from talking about it. That's their right. But you can certainly run your own show. Thank you, Helen. They were good. They were good. It was a good meetup. It was a good meetup. Come on, Kerno. Harvey's not rubbish. Harvey's a very good bloke. A very good chap over in the UK. He's here. He adjusts his schedule to US time. Had the bumpy top seat on. You don't have to do it. Jordan Blue's a friend of mine, Tom. You don't have to. That's fine. Yeah, she said Rosie had the bumpy top seat on the 2018 shit buggy of 2018. Exactly. But am I better for it? Absolutely. Do I feel better having engaged people and now seeing the content and seeing them do for the positive? I love that. I'm glad. I'm so glad of that. It just vindicates my judgment, that didn't come out of that and have it just turn into business as usual, but it definitely rounded a corner and turned to the positive. That's it. JK said, you can only be friends with people I agree with, Rosie, or just ask me and I will let you know who can be on your panel. Kerno, why are you after Harvey so much? Harvey's one of the most well-liked people down here. Woo!
Because Colonel is a certain other. That's why.
Dave the fisherman. Otherwise known as Lying Crying Dave, LCD. Hey, Aggie! How are you doing?
Why don't you give us your real name, Colonel?
Colonel's okay. He's over in the UK. Maybe you'll meet. Exactly. Maybe you'll meet. Hey, Colonel. Maybe you'll meet Harvey for lunch over there in London. Yeah. How would that be? You guys could be pals.
Yeah, you could drink a cup of tea and
call him the LCD. Yeah, Dave. I was just saying. I did. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. The funny thing is, you were texting Jen. I wouldn't get any of the of the messages. She was asleep on there. So I did tell Coat, King of all things, to lighten it up, and I think feel good. Yeah, I'm not sure, Dave. Oh man, so it's kind of funny. But Dave's not a snowflake, so. But he, you know, what I like about Dave, goes onto his own platform and just says, "Don't follow the drama, don't be involved, don't support Dave. That's exactly the right thing to do, and then go do your own show." Anybody can be down. That I think is the way to do it. You know, that's the way to do it, in my opinion. Well, Tasha, you're sometimes a blowtorch down here, honey. You don't melt snowflakes, you fry them down here. Swords or guns. Could you imagine Curnow and Harvey meeting up in London, going to have a Guinness? How you doing? All right. How you been? Okay. Oh, I appreciate you coming down. That's what I'm saying. Come on down. Yeah, you have to hit each other with your keyboards, right? Dave, you know. Well, I don't know, Tom. People are going to gravitate to where they enjoy watching. Okay, they're going to gravitate towards what they want to see here on YouTube. Yeah, Pacific Coast Highway. Yeah, he's something. He's something. You know, it's pretty darn funny. Oh, you'd like to meet him? You'd like to meet Harvey, huh? Would you buy Harvey a drink, Curnow? Yeah, I couldn't believe how fast Dave is flying down the road. Oh, Aggie, you're sweet, honey. Dave, you're driving way too fast on that ice, and you can hear that crunchy road. If you ever had to brake in an emergency, plus you rolled through stop signs. I'm just critiquing your driving, Dave. See, I have to recommend No and the Pink Camo when you all go to Baghdad. Can you imagine one morning you wake up, Rosie's in Baghdad, you know, in the morning. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Really? And she ain't in the green zone. I'm in with my burqa. Hi, everybody.
Your big voice will still give you away.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah. We love you, Helen. I'll be right back, and then we're going to go about 10 more minutes. The stoplight was red, and my 3 rolled through. I could not stop. It was too icy.
I don't know, Jodi. We're not sure what we're going to do. Let's see, Beryl, he's 8 years old now, or 8 years young. Thank you, Helen. Pinky Smickler.
Wasn't that cute, Harvey singing Kentucky Rain this morning? Huh?
Yeah.
Where's Harvey? That was so cute.
Yeah. Harvey rocks.
That was so cute. Do, 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 do. Kentucky rain keeps falling down.
Yeah, George is still a spring chicken. He's only 8.
Walking through, with the rain in my shoes, searching for you. in the cold Kentucky. Yeah, you're going to be on live PD anytime soon. Georgie, what are you doing, huh? Are you all dickered today, huh? Are you hobblecocked? Are you hobblecocked? Yeah, Dave's not a small man, that's for sure. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and notch it down today. I'll see you this evening. We're going to do a very traditional butter pound cake tonight. It should be very interesting. Very traditional. The backbone of wedding cakes, the backbone of things that you can spoon strawberries on, berries, caramel sauce, ice cream. It's the ultimate, I did not, Cheryl. It's the ultimate dessert to have. So I want to thank you guys for being along. In a bikini. Thank you guys for being along, and thank you, Dave. Put a little bit of a corrective element on Coat there. I don't want to have him going off on anybody there. So I think we're all pretty cool. Okay, Harvey, you should probably get a good sleep for yourself and relax. Thank you, Jody. Good to see you. Beryl, always a pleasure. Helen. Yeah, that's it for those for the perfect mandarin oranges. Those Dollar Tree mandarin. Now that would be a delicious thing to have them over top of that. I like the way she thinks. Thank you. The blue one with the pink trim. Okay, well, yeah, I think I haven't worn that in a while, so we'll see. Bye, Dory Lynn. Love you. Bye, Snickerdoodle. Thank you, everybody.